ตั้งแต่นี้
Academic freedom is the lifeblood of all modern educational and research institutions. Yet it routinely comes under attack around the world. In this report, Hamid Musavi takes a look at the challenges facing academic freedom in Canadian universities.
The Canadian Association of University Teachers defines academic freedom as the right to teach, learn, study, and publish free of orthodoxy or threat of reprisal and discrimination. James Turk is the executive director of the association, which represents 66,000 academic staff at 124 universities and colleges across Canada.
Academic freedom is always difficult because if a university is doing what it should do, it's raising difficult questions, it's allowing an examination of things that governments or special interests often don't want examined. It's to be a place in a democratic society where sort of any questions can be asked, different viewpoints debated, different theories, products examined from all sides. So there's always interests that aren't happy with that. Generally, academic freedom is pretty well protected in Canadian universities.
Denis Rancourt is a distinguished physics professor who has published over 100 academic articles. Rancourt was dismissed from the University of Ottawa in 2009, even though he had tenure and had been teaching for 22 years.
Academic freedom in practice means you're free to say whatever you want in a non-critical way. You're free to say whatever you want or to research anything you want that cannot be threatening to the system in any way. That's the freedom of academic freedom in practice.
Rancourt believes that his criticism of the university administration as well as his political views played a major role in his dismissal.
I didn't just do a theoretical critique of U.S. foreign policy, but I also critiqued the Israel lobby and its influence on Canada. And so I was, and my speakers, some of my speakers also made those criticisms. And on my blogs, I'm very critical of the undue influence that the Israel lobby has on Canadian foreign policy, Canadian politics, and the institution itself.
The tenure system is used in many countries, including Canada, to ensure academic freedom. However, the system itself has come under criticism.
Tenure is a provision for professors where after you've been working for 5 years, you're evaluated, and if you're deemed to be doing a good job, you get tenure. We have the longest probation period of any profession in the world. I mean, it takes 5 years before the job becomes permanent. And if you don't get tenure, you're out.
Yavar Hameed is a lawyer who specializes in human rights.
Before you get to that threshold of gaining tenure, there's sort of two facets of it. One, you're a bit of a wild card because you haven't been given that label, so there's no tenure to maintain. But you also are looking for that carrot. You're looking for that reward. So you may try to self-censor in terms of saying things and acting in a way to ultimately get that tenure. So rightly or wrongly, that tenure sort of acts as an objective to curtail and maintain a certain level of comportment and communication within the academic community.
Tenure track process is one of the most sophisticated indoctrination methods that has ever been developed. You want university professors to be fully obedient and indoctrinated because they are producing the highest level obedient workers, professional workers who not only have to be obedient, but they actually have to promote the ideology of the system.
In the case of Rancourt, even having tenure didn't stop his dismissal.
In his case, is a very important one. What it's saying is that we want to be able to fire people if we don't like their views or their methods. And if it's allowed to stand, you can be guaranteed that other universities are going to try it as well.
The University of Ottawa declined Press TV's interview request for this report. Another important issue is the right to freedom of expression for students. Joseph Hickey represents graduate students in the University of Ottawa Senate.
Student academic freedom is more important than academic freedom for professors. In other words, we have to be even more vigilant to ensure that academic freedom is preserved in the student case.
In 2009, Carleton and Ottawa University banned an Israeli apartheid poster, which depicted an Israeli aircraft firing a missile at a Palestinian child. The student activists were even threatened with expulsion.
The issue of criticism of Israel is a contentious one in Canada, because Canada is one of the strongest advocates or allies of Israel in the world. And part of that is kind of a blind rhetorical commitment to the preferences and just general propagation of Israel as a state. And I think the danger in that is that we sort of lose sight of the legitimate basis for criticizing any regime.
In 2010, several students were arrested at Carleton University after attempting to display graphic anti-abortion posters.
It is not freedom of expression if you are arrested for expressing a view that is unpopular on a university campus.
Academic freedom is essential for the advancement of society, yet upholding it is a challenging task, which needs constant vigilance by all members of that society. Hamed Mousavi, Press TV, Ottawa.
And that's your Reporter's File for this week. Thank you for watching. Do send us your comments and suggestions to reportersfile@presstv.ir. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, so long.